liberty.
Jamie, has this meeting been published in the OPMA Act?
Yes, Chairman, it has.
Have roll call, commissioners?
Commissioner Davis.
Here.
DeWise.
Yes.
Fisher. Grillo. Parikh.
Here.
Roberts.
Here.
Scott.
Here.
And Chairman Zabrowski.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Jamie. We have the minutes for our October 9th, 2025 meeting. Has everybody had a chance to review those minutes? And if so, can I have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion.
Second. Roll call?
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
DeWise.
Yes.
Fisher. Parikh.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
And Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm going to go out of order a little bit this evening. I know we have a presentation on our waterfront development area. Rather than keep you longer, we figure we'll move you up and ask you to come on up.
I think that's on now, right? All right. Thank you, everyone. For the record, my name is Jennifer Phillips Smith, and I'm an attorney with Gibbons PC, and I am here tonight on behalf of Sayreville Seaport Associates Urban Renewal, which is your master developer for the waterfront redevelopment area. We have two applications that we would like to move forward with at the planning board and present to you this evening for your consent to do so. One involves changes to the Bass Pro sign package that's been before you before. Obviously, the building's under construction. We actually have an approved sign package for that building. We are just looking to modify it now as we get closer to finishing up the building and to add a pylon sign. The other portion of the application deals with the gateway services area, and that is changes to the building that we're calling the Panera building, and then changes to the previously approved building for a coffee shop. We have Mark Fetta here today and Dan Bush, who can go over in a little bit more detail those proposed changes. I'll have Mark come up first. I think we will start with the Bass Pro signage first and then move through to the gateway services changes.
Do we have a traveling mic? If I could go over and point to use the board. Can you all see the board? Is that helpful? Thank you, everybody. Appreciate the opportunity. As a reminder, yeah, please.
Should we move it to right behind where I'm standing? Would that be visible on the TV?
Of course, yeah. Sure. Which way?
Towards me.
Other way. A little more. Yeah, that's good. Perfect. Okay. Well, you all can see this. Yeah, I can see from there.
Okay.
Or we can take a picture.
Is it adjustment? This way? That's where? Yeah, that's good. We all can see from there.
Good.
Thank you. Great, you're welcome. Yeah, again, good evening, everybody. Just by way of perspective, Jen, Dan, and I have been before the board recently several times to make improvements, what we think are improvements that we caused Bass Pro to make to the building. Most especially, we had the building footprint changed about 2 years ago to take more advantage of its presence on the Garden State Parkway. So you'll see elements of that as we go through this a little bit further. So those of you who are able to get to the site or see the progress that we've made over the last year, we started construction with the building, as you know, just before Labor Day of last year. So here we are now with core and shell completed. We are building the core and shell for the tenant. The tenant is building out the interior. We turned over the building for Bass Pro to start their interior fit out about a month early. They started work in August by the lease, and legal requirements, we were supposed to give that to them in September of this year. So over the next, call it 6 months or so, you'll see them finish up on the inside of the building. They're continuing to make improvements in the building. Last time we were here, we had one, I think, marine life feature, which was a shipwreck, but it's 28 feet tall, 24 feet wide. It's an enormous, it's going to be a true destination for the region here. So they've added another marine life attraction inside the building, as well as they've now committed to build a restaurant inside the building. So lots of changes. It's very exciting, challenging for our project team out there. But the Bass Pro folks are really good to work with. They have great intentions here. I think you'll see them here in town for a long time. Once they move in, they're going to be a fixture in Sayreville, and that's a good thing. So from the picture, you can see the progress that we've made. And I'll just point out on the site work, for example, we've really been careful to design that site work that we control for the entire Riverton project in a way that it has a unified theme. So the lighting that you see, the landscape that's going in now, which is a little bit ahead of schedule, this is what you're going to see throughout Riverton. We really want to stay away from a circumstance where every tenant has different light fixtures at different heights and different colors. So these are the types of details that we pay most attention to. So any questions on our progress that we've made recently? And sure.
Where's the railing?
Okay.
Thank you.
There you go.
Sure.
Perfect, Mark.
We've only been here 3 times before, so, but it keeps changing, so it's not me.
We're having to dance.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, ask my wife about that. Any questions on progress of the building? Okay. So let me just switch the panels here. So the first thing on the agenda is the changes to the signage. I don't think it would be helpful to belabor the quantity changes and of the sizes of the signage. The other thing I really want to point out is that the building is highly articulated. The new signage is there's a larger number of signs, but they're spaced throughout the elevations of the building, and it makes it a lot more attractive. It's highly themed, highly branded to some of the subsidiary companies that Bass Pro owns, Tracker Boats and so forth. So I don't think there's much conjecture there on that. Is there any questions on the signage of the building?
I would just ask David if that's been consistent with our design standards and what have you.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll talk about the pylon sign now. And we'll orient you. So the picture that I had up a few moments ago was from this perspective here, looking at the north front elevation of the building. We're now proposing that the pylon sign, which actually did exist as we understand it, back when the Point was had its first site plan approval for the Bass Pro building. So we're really putting the final touches on the location for the pylon sign and its orientation for as much of an orthogonal viewpoint from coming over the Garden State Parkway Bridge there. So that's the location, and the pylon itself is reminiscent of the building. It's 75 feet tall, and you see the heavy rock and all of the outdoor expressions of what Bass Pro is all about. There's fiberglass logs, there's timber framing. To us, it meets our design criteria. It's actually enhanced quite a bit from the one that was approved back in the day. It's more of a toothpick structure and did not really tie with the building. So we're excited about it. Any questions on the pylon sign?
So those are
Okay.
the components of the Bass Pro application, what we'll call that, which we would be applying to the planning board for an amended approval, just to amend the prior sign package to reflect this new sign package. We have a second application that's proposed as an amended application to the planning board, and that involves the gateway services component. So I'll ask Mark to switch over to that, and then we'll have Dan come up and explain it further. But for the gateway services application, we previously have received site plan approval for that section and amended site plan approval for that section. This is the section that has several pad site buildings that have been approved for example, a gas station with a convenience store, and then also for other types of quick service, food service, and coffee shop. I'll have Dan go over what the changes are that are proposed to the previously approved plan.
Thanks, Jen. So we still have 6 buildings for gateway services. So the last time we were here to amend gateway services, we had the Chick-fil-A and Quick Check up front on Main Street Extension. And then we had added Panera Bread, which is to the west on that's lot 105. So that configuration basically remains exactly as it was. The only significant difference is we've taken Panera, and Panera is now rotated 90 degrees. So what you see here in gray is the old layout where it's perpendicular north and south. Now it's parallel to Peter Fisher Boulevard. So what that's allowed us to do is pull this spine road that bisects gateway services and then extends to the west into lot 105, pull it closer to Peter Fisher Boulevard. And why that's important is it frees up more space to construct future buildings within lot 1.05. So it makes that parcel more buildable in the future. The square footages of all of this, that's between what we had previously and what we have now, it was 25,500 previously. We're just about a little over 25,000 now. So it's basically the same square footage as we had previously. So it's really just that reconfiguration of rotating Panera Bread and then just changes to that driveway. That's really it. There's some small changes to the footprints of the other 2 buildings, but they're really not substantive. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
The footprint is slightly different. It is that building was 6450. It's now 6225, and it's a 3-tenant building, which is the one in the middle. Yep. And just to clarify, the Panera was 4950. It's now 3520. And the other multi-tenant building was 3750, and now it's 4468, and that's this building here on the opposite side of the driveway from Panera Bread. The parking all meets the standards. We still have the same number of EV spaces, so that's all same as it was.
Chairman, everything is in accord with the redevelopment agreement and the redevelopment plan, and the changes that are being proposed are minor, so we have no problem with that recommendation.
Thank you, Dave.
So that's all we had for you this evening.
That's the agenda.
Then we're going to talk about buildings a little bit, signage.
Oh, we could do that as well. We can show you what the buildings themselves will look like.
We wanted Dan to set a stage with the site plan. Yeah. Thanks, Dan. So as Dan mentioned, I'll just put this back up for a minute. In addition to manipulating the buildings a bit, we really reorganized this throughput road. And this is, I think it's important to let you know that we're thinking into the next phase of the project. And we should be before this board sometime next year for the Gateway Retail, what we call the Gateway Retail, which is about 140,000 square feet. We're active now in lease discussions and LOI discussions. I can't name the tenants, but I think you'll be pleased when you hear the names. We get to that point. So we really wanted to organize the throughput here in the traffic to accommodate that next phase of development. The other thing that we did when we oriented these buildings, we really wanted to create prominence, the front of the building here on Peter Fisher Boulevard. Previously, it was sort of an afterthought. They were kind of the back and the sides of the buildings. So we wanted to create more articulation and more design flair on those buildings. In the middle as well, these buildings have, as you can see, and if you looked at the plans that we submitted, most of the buildings will have outdoor seating for the restaurants. And we've oriented that in a way where they all face into the courtyard in the middle in this area here. So that's another aspect of what we're trying to accomplish here. The Panera building itself, you'll notice with Panera, Starbucks, and the other tenants that there's there are no pylon signs. We're really not wanting to make this look like Route 9 or, a major thoroughfare. Well, we're trying to eliminate all those various different sizes and types of pylon signs. Rather, we're accentuating the aesthetics of the front side of the building, and we're creating these tower elements where the tenant's brand can be more prominently displayed. So those are the architectural features that underlie the signage changes that we wanted to propose here for Panera, and we do have a lease with Panera. I should say for the Gateway Services area in particular, schedule-wise, we're starting on Monday with Quick Check. That building commences on Monday. We will submit, soon as we know that we're good with these changes here, we'll submit for a building permit. We have the permit jacket all laid out, plans signed and sealed, ready to go into Kirkmick and his department. So lots of progress on this side of the site as well.
The building permit for Panera, right? The
Yes,
building permit for Panera.
Building permit for Panera. Did I say something else?
Quick Check already has their permits,
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. We haven't yet built a building without a building permit. I don't think you'll see that happen. Any questions?
Mark, you have so far, you have signed lease with Chick-fil-A, Quick Check, and Panera, right? Those
Uh,
three?
Quick Check and Panera.
Okay, those three. Okay.
That's correct. Those two. Those two.
Oh, Chick-fil-A, you haven't signed the lease.
That's correct. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Definitely appreciate it.
The
Yeah.
easement.
Thank you.
Yes, so we could, a moment on the access easement, which is separate from the planning board applications. Mark, if you wouldn't mind putting the site plan back up and just point out the Quick Check. So where Quick Check's located, Mark will point that out. They have asked as a condition of their lease to have an access easement to allow them to come out that internal driveway and then into what will be Peter Fisher Boulevard. Now, it's kind of a bit of a legal nuance at this point. SERA is already leasing all of the property to SSA, and we are subleasing a portion of that property to Quick Check. And eventually Peter Fisher Boulevard is going to be a public road, but that is not going to happen until down the line when construction is completed, when the road is ready to be accepted for dedication. So until that time, Quick Check wants to be sure that they are going to have access from out of their driveway and then out over what will be Peter Fisher Boulevard officially, and then out to Main Street Extension. So they've asked for the grant of an easement, which SERA, as the property owner, would be granting them the easement to use the access driveways that have been approved for their site and to use Peter Fisher Boulevard until such time as it becomes an official public road again, in which point the easement will terminate as to that portion because it will be a public road for all.
The language will be incorporated to make sure that when it becomes public road, that easement.
Yeah, we have gone through and reviewed it. We asked them to have wording that details responsibility for maintenance of it, so that the borough wouldn't be obligated or SERA would be obligated to maintain it. Those changes have been put in, and we recommend.
But how would we track that eventually that easement is going to be terminated? Because, it's going to be probably years down the road.
it's really not a big deal.
Okay, that's,
From-
okay.
From the standpoint of it, it's always been contemplated that there would be the equivalent of something like a homeowners association that's gonna be responsible for those type of easements, okay, to go through and make sure that that's how it's handled. So at some point in time, it's my guess that Riverton will come back and say, hey, here's our overall plan for the maintenance of these things, and this is the deal. So I think it's gonna come back to us on their part rather than us having
Yeah.
to say, it's out.
But-
And it's a non-exclusive easement that doesn't prohibit anybody else. They just wanted to be sure that they could.
Yeah, so I mean, if that's the case and it's not much here, why we are incorporating language to say until the Fisher Boulevard is public
Be-
road? Is
Because,
that a
the-
legal requirement?
because the proposed tenant doesn't feel comfortable because of the basin of the right of way at this point in time. He doesn't want to be in a situation where he owns a building and somebody says to him, oh, you can't use this road.
No, I agree with that. He doesn't need, what I'm saying is that eventually why it needs to expire.
It-
Just
This will be a public road.
Well,
Right now.
the main
public
road
road
will be
will-
a public road. The access road that we're
Right.
talking about an
Internal road.
easement will never be a public.
right.
Internal road stays.
So,
So it's always gonna be their responsibility or
Right.
Riverton's responsibility.
Mhm.
And
I just think there are some unnecessary legal parameters we're putting in. If that's gonna be access road for them to use,
And you, I understand what you're saying, but sometimes you have to do things to entice people to locate SERA.
All right, our goal, Mr. Sam is completely correct, and our goal is in the future, this will become onerous if we have to do this for every single tenant. So we do plan to have what's called a declaration put in place to automatically put all those access easements in place. It just timing wise didn't happen in time for Quick Check to start construction. So this is a measure to allow them to start construction while we work out the larger details of the access easements for everyone.
Mark, I just have one question, you don't have to go. My question is really related to the fact that you're not having I guess you call the pylon signs. I think that's great, actually. I like the recognition of the fact that I think they've become busy and just a whole sort of things I don't like them. Is that going to be consistent throughout the development, that idea?
It is, yeah. I think you'll see other types of signage that are more about Riverton and Sayreville rather than particularly to tenants. They all, like each one of them wants to start to outdo each other in terms of size and height and width. So it's actually pretty easy to just say, no, nobody's going to get it. But we will do this instead. You saw how we're creating these tower elements to liven up the facade.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Mr.
for sure.
Chairman, there were a lot of discussions about signage on this 10 or 15 years ago when the project was going through the stages. A lot of time was spent on it, and a lot of detail was spent on it. So, I think as we go along, as long as things are in conformance with what the concepts are, we don't have a problem. If there's changes, then we're gonna have to discuss it.
There were an awful lot of pylon signs proposed, all down the highway and around the site and the original application.
Yeah, no, I'm glad.
Digital ones.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to see, I remember that, and I'm glad to see this design. I think this is much cleaner and aesthetically pleasing.
this is an improvement, clearly.
Does
Thank you,
anybody else have
everyone.
any questions for the presentation?
Great, thank you very much.
With that in mind, and so that our visitors don't have to stay through the evening, we'll continue to move forward. And if we could move to at least the 3 resolutions that pertained to this presentation and move on to get approval of each one. Mike, do you have any?
There are 14A, B, and C.
We'll start with 14A, which is 2025-1145, resolution authorizing access agreement between and among SERA as guarantor, Quick Check Corp. as grantee and SSA in the Gateway Service Area. Can I get a motion?
And Chairman,
I'm sorry.
as grantor.
Grantor, okay.
And not guarantor.
And I'll second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
DeWise.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
Parikh.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we're going to B 2025-1146, resolution approving amendment to the signage plan for the Bass Pro Bass Pro site plan.
Make a motion to accept 2025-1146.
Second that motion. Roll call?
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
DeWise.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
Parikh.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes.
Thank you.
And the final resolution related to this presentation, 2025-1147, is a resolution approving amendment to the site plan for the Gateway Service Area pertaining to Panera Bread and future coffee shop locations.
I make a motion to accept 2025-1147.
I will second motion.
Roll call?
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
DeWise.
Yes.
Fisher. Parikh. Roberts.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes.
Thank you.
And moving on now to our attorney's report.
Thank you, Jim. The only other thing I'd like to add is we can remove item D 1148 and deal with that at the next meeting. The Insight self-storage at the old Club Pure site project is now complete. The borough has issued a certificate of occupancy. The next step is for a certificate of completion to be issued by SERA. CME is inspected to make sure they've performed under the agreement. Wayne has looked at the finances. They're all up to date. So at the next meeting, we can act on closing that project out. That's it, Chairman.
Any questions or comments for our attorney? If not, moving on, engineer's report. Justin?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The presentation today covered most of what I was going to talk about. It's progress at Riverton. Nothing else. Thank you.
Thank you. Is Vina with us?
I'm here. I'm
okay.
here.
All right, Vina, but the volume is a little low, so we're going to try to do something with that so that we can hear you, and we welcome you to the meeting.
Thank you so much.
Good to go with?
Yes, you-
Go ahead, Vina.
Sure. So actually I have some good news. We had a very productive meeting this morning with NJ Transit, Director of Transit Friendly Planning. And the reason we need to work or pursue the Transit Village designation is it's actually that site is part of our housing plan. We have a conference coming in. There were some questions that were asked about this site and the realistic development potential of the area that we are trying to pursue for Transit Village. So it was very important to have this meeting and get blessings from Transit, NJ Transit and their support. And Himanshu and John attended the meeting with me. They were very supportive. We plan to pursue the Transit Village designation. But before I do that, I would want to get started with the area investigation study and the plan, because although we are not in rush with getting the designation from DOT, because DOT is the one who gives the designation. But since it's part of our affordable housing plan, to have a solid plan in place, we would need a redevelopment plan or an ordinance that supports mixed use multifamily housing in that area. I was explaining to the director that that area comprises of 31 parcels, roughly 60 acres of land, and there is.
I'm sorry, Vina, can you just pause for 1 second?
Sure.
And just to give the commissioners a location on this, there's a new resolution on your desk. It's got a map attached to it. That's the property that Vina is talking about. And there are two designations. One is the meeting that Vina and Himanshu and company had today about designating it as a transit village. And what The resolution is asking the council to start the process to designate it as an area in need of redevelopment. So two designations, and I just wanted to be sure, Vina, that everybody had the map up in front of them.
Thank you so much.
1 second, Rena. So Commissioner, I just wanted, I know we generally don't like to put things on the last minute on the agenda. This was added this afternoon after the meeting and realizing that we need to move on this project because of our core obligations. There are some questions, and this process will help resolve with the fair share housing. So we thought it was important that we put this on the agenda so the council can take action next month at their meeting. And that's the reason we have added this on the agenda. It's the resolution 2025-11-48. The description was not completed. Again, this is a last minute issue, but the actual paperwork you have that describes the process. And just like what we did with the Route 9 and Main Street and Crossman, it's the same process. Go ahead, Vina.
And
Go ahead, Vina.
just to add on.
Go on, I didn't have the number on my sheet, so I'm wondering.
2025-11-48.
11.
The item D on the agenda.
I don't believe your paperwork, anybody's paperwork actually has the resolution number on it, so you'd be putting that in. For clarification.
2025.
Is it the resolution of this, authorize a study or refer to the planning board certain properties, 58 plus or minus acres? Okay, so it's this one.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And
That's-
just to add on to what Himanshu said, actually, it is time sensitive in nature because as I don't know if everyone is aware, but Sayreville's housing plan has an objector, which is Fair Housing Center. There is a settlement conference that has been scheduled for the 24th, which is coming up. And there were a lot of questions that were asked about this area. So it's important that we have a resolution in place wherein we see the town council support for pursuing the designation. And at the same time, at today's meeting, I have requested the director of New Jersey Transit Planning Department to issue us a letter of support for us to pursue the redevelopment plan and the transit village, because those two resolutions will be critical at the November 24th meeting when the town attorney meets for the settlement. So that's what's going on with Transit Village. With the Grossman side, I have finished my study. It was supposed to be heard, but there were few properties where I wanted to reach out to the property owners to see if they are truly, because those seem to be like fully developed sites. Unless they themselves are interested in redeveloping the sites, I wouldn't really include them in the study area. So I wanted to give them a fair chance before I go in with a presentation in front of the planning board. I have tried to reach out with them. I've not been successful. I probably will need some help from Zach to reach out to them. So that's Grossman. Also, I'm working on the redevelopment plan for the Ernston Road site, because today when we met NJ Transit, I was explaining to them, and I had 2 meetings with them prior to this one, and I had explained to them how we are trying to take advantage of Old Bridge designation for Transit Village, because the Ernston Road area is right abutting the Transit Village designation that Old Bridge is trying to pursue. So it benefits Sayreville as well. So I'm working on that redevelopment plan. And then the December 8th meeting, I spoke to John and at the December 8th council meeting, I will be there for a brief discussion on the redevelopment plan for the former Sunshine Biscuit property. And then come January, the plan will be presented because it's an ordinance. I didn't want to get started in December. I wouldn't be able to conduct a public hearing prior to the end of the year. So that's why the first reading is moved to January. But I will be there to present the plan on December 8th.
So Rena Crossman will complete planning board action on December 8th, correct?
December 8th is council meeting.
Oh, council,
Yeah.
December 3rd. December 3rd, it will be completed.
Yes,
If
because
those
if I don't
property
hear-
owner, if you
Yeah.
have a concern about the properties and property owners will try to help you get connected, we got the contact, but if they're not responding, then whatever action you need to take it so we can
Sure.
move on with the rest of the property, okay?
Sure, sure. I will. So that's all on my end.
Thank you, Vina. And I
Thank
just
you,
want to
Vina.
kind of expand on this, on the resolution that you're going to be voting on this evening. This is a very interesting and I think a very good opportunity for the borough moving forward. But at this point, it's an opportunity, right? It's a discussion and moving forward, we'll see where council and planning board will go with it. But an opportunity to partner with New Jersey Transit, not to eliminate the commuter parking, as some may have said, but to enhance the opportunity for commuters and residents to utilize and better utilize either that parking lot or an enhanced parking lot or parking area for that. I think it's also an opportunity to be able to have a mixed use to work with the business owners that are there, particularly the strip mall that's across the way and some of the other property owners to enhance the economic opportunity for those areas. And I think for the borough of Saraville, it's an opportunity to look at a development that will not increase congestion, but is intended to be able to, number one, meet certain needs, have ability to opportunities for dwellings that meet affordable housing, but also housing needs for the Saraville without additional congestion. And knowing that if you're working with NJ Transit, that the area of infrastructure that we're looking at too, the roadways, can be enhanced and improved and be another facet for improving, or actually not improving congestion, but reducing congestion on Main Street, which we know is already a problem. So there's a lot of opportunity for this. And I don't know, Vina, if there's anything else to say about it, but at this stage, and at the end of the day too, we're not looking at eminent domain, or non-condemnation, but moving and partnering with the property owners in order to do this. So just by way of explanation, because I know we haven't really discussed it that much prior to that.
I think, Chairman, you really clarified that the commuters' parking lot is not going away. It's staying. It's going to be improved. It's going to be better. And the site is very valuable in the sense that even if the development takes place, it will not add to congestion because the access is right there to the Parkway, to Route 9, to Route 35. And so there is really not going, the traffic is not going through the entire town. So I think those are the important factor and will allow us to meet the COA obligation that right now, creates problem with other area. If we don't find it there, then we have to look for other areas that may not be suitable in the community. So I think I think this site is really important. This action is very important.
And just to add on one more thing, that when it's a transit-oriented project, the township, the borough is eligible for 0.5 credits. So you have your affordable unit that you get credit for, but you also get 0.5 rental bonus credit on that. So it helps reduce your obligation significantly.
Thank you, Vina. Questions or comments for our planner? Donna?
It's not necessarily for the planner, but something I've been asking for quite some time is project tracking. And our planner has just talked about the Raritan Center area on Raritan Street, which we're talking about as 2025-1148. That should have a project name so that we follow the whole project, all the resolutions through all the boards for it. She also spoke about Crossman, Ernst Road Site, Sunshine Biscuit. All of those that we have hired someone to investigate should have a project name, ID that will follow it throughout. So in this area, do I need to make a motion that we put that structure in place, or is that something that a motion is only something for council?
I don't think really, commissioner actions required. Our designation, for example, the naming of this specific site is going to be Transit Village. And hopefully it will carry on.
That's what I'm afraid, because
We can
don't
take,
often carry it on. Transit Village may turn into something other village. So if you have a project ID, you could interchange who's building it, what you call it. But we can follow the history.
my understanding in speaking to Zach is that we are the initiator of this, so our name is going to carry on. It's the planning board, zoning board has to adopt those things, as well as township clerk has to adopt those things. And what we understood, the numbering does not work because they have their own numbering system, but naming does work. And we're going to designate those names that are known, as the naming of those projects. And hopefully we can enforce. Sitting here, we're not going to be able to enforce the planning board, zoning board, or the clerk's office, township, actually, clerk's office to do that. But we certainly, I think everybody's on board with that idea. Am I right, Beth? Yeah, so they're all on board.
Because I would also like to see things like all the different artifacts that we talk about for a project be labeled with those project names, or my preference, of course, is always IDs, because I don't like the idea of project names changing as we move along. And this way we can follow the history of an entire project, regardless of where it starts. And when we're talking about a project in council, we're talking about the same project in planning, we're talking about the same project in SERA. And I think that would just
I mean,
add.
we will have, I think it's a good idea, and we'll have our documents. We'll direct our able assistant to make sure that all our documents, we have a file system that tracks that way, and they will include all the documents to name.
And I would think if we wanted to go at some point to digital tracking, it will help collect the collection of documents and artifacts for each project to make it easier for even a transition to new leadership to be able to look into what has happened before and what the intentions were.
Thank you, Don.
Okay, thank you.
Chairman,
Yes,
the project up, the mini mall project, isn't that considered a transit village also?
not the mini mall. The Transit
That
Village is
area.
actually in Old Bridge. We're looking to be able to
Benefit from them.
benefit from that, partner with us to, and we would say it's an extension of the Transit Village.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's known to us. Naming is Route 9 Ernstone Road.
Any other questions to reference to our planner's report? If not, if it's okay, we do have a resolution of 2025-1148. Can I get a motion on that?
Make a motion to approve the resolution.
So we have a
Second.
second. Roll call.
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
Wise.
Yes.
Fisher. Parikh. Roberts.
And just to be clear, this is a motion to move it to the council for approval.
For the council to decide what to do with it.
Okay, absolutely, yes. Thank you.
Scott.
For clarification. Council decide.
Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vina. Moving on to our executive director's report.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Engineer.
Executive Director Report for November 13, 2025. Item number 1, SERA website and digital presence. The SERA website is now live. and additional content is being developed to expand and the information available to the public. The app is also live. The app is available on Android or iOS devices. Can be found on the Apple and Android App Store by searching SERA, NJ. Number two, Main Street speed limit reduction. Middlesex County has installed new signage along the Main Street reflecting the recently approved 25 miles per hour speed limit. Item number three, Riverton BDA Steering Committee meeting. The quarterly Riverton BDA Steering Committee meeting was held on November 6th and included updates on the ongoing remediation efforts across parcel A, B, and C. The BDA team continues to collaborate closely with NJDEP to streamline reporting and advance project closeout activities. I think we emphasize, there was some discussion, but we emphasize that opening of Bass Pro by spring is critical, as long as Bass Pro is ready, that we want to make sure that there is no delay. So that was emphasized at the meeting. Item number four, Office of Business Engagement. The chairman and myself have discussed establishing an Office of Business Engagement under SERA. The proposed office would aim to better support existing business with expansion need, assist in navigating the borough departments, and attract new business to Sayreville. Chairman, that concludes the report.
Thank you, Manchu. Is there any questions or comments for our executive director?
I had a question, Chairman.
Sure.
With the app, how are we gonna get the public to want to download that and be active in the app?
We have the company that we use, they have they're providing us a campaign on how to campaign that information. It's going to be posted on our, obviously, borough social media and a different groups that exist in Sayreville Parents, for example. And that's where we're going to start with notifying that, they can, I think it's already being used by a number of people. But yes, you're correct. We need to promote that.
And for the website, I took a look at it and it looks lovely.
Thank you.
If I could have one recommendation, though, the files that we put on, you have to click so many times to get to them. So you click to the meeting, then you click to the next folder, which is maybe 2025. Then you click to the next folder, which is a month. Then you click to the next folder, which is the date of the meeting. Then you might get to where you're looking for. So that's far too many clicks. So I would recommend if we could flatten out that to make it more user-friendly for those coming in, make it just maybe for the year and the date, agenda, the date, and each file independent so that you could search for it. I think that would be useful for those coming to find documents.
I mean, I know there's too many clicks. We're going to review that. I'm going to have Kevin re-establish those things. Those were initial steps that were taken by the company. But we'll go back and we want to make it as easy as possible.
I know, and this board has really done a great job of doing that with so much of what's been done. And I do understand, I think that's probably a takeaway from the way that the file structure was on the council side. But I think we want to be leading to make it better and more end user friendly so that people can find their information and find the truth and value that this board brings.
We'll undertake that process to make it a little more friendly. And then eventually, my goal is to add the AI's access onto that. And then once the AI is placed, I think that finding anything is going to be very easy.
I've seen that in action and it is a beautiful thing. And it will only find the real valid data within our sources so that it does not get impacted by hallucinations from external sources. So I'm looking forward to that. So thank you. I'm glad to hear that.
Any further comments? Moving on to authorization for payment of bills. We have a total amount of $138,480. Operating total is $131,406.30. Escrow is $690, $6,994.50. I need a motion to approve payment of the bills as listed.
I will make a motion.
Can I get a second?
I will second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
DeWise.
Yes.
Fisher. Parikh. Roberts. Scott.
Yes.
Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now on to the 2026 budget public hearing and adoption. Commissioner, do I turn it over to you or to Wayne?
Wayne will take a lead on that.
Yes, the total budget, the appropriations for the budget amount to 4,276,000. And with revenues including 42,000 from retained earnings equal the same 4,276,000. It's been what was presented and introduced back on October 9th. It was presented in the September meeting and then introduced on October 9th. I mean, if the commissioners have any questions, I'm here to answer them. But it's pretty straightforward, we were able to fine tune the cost of providing services such as legal fees, engineering fees, planning fees, with the getting a better handle on the escrow accounts. Just as a matter of a note, all the escrow accounts have been cleared up. The two deficits that still appeared in the 2024 audit are now cleared up. We received the monies for them, and everything is set on the escrow funds. We're set on that. So all the professional fees relative to escrows or projects go to the escrow funds against the escrow funds provided by the developers. And what you see, what we're using for legal fees and other professional fees is just in the budget now. All the escrow is completely outside the budget. Previously, the revenues from escrows were included in the budget as a revenue, and hopefully adequate monies were appropriated for to offset those in the appropriations. That was not always the case, and it was very difficult to budget that way. So by taking the escrow fees out of the budget, our budget is more fine-tuned now. So
The escrows are statutory process, and it's supposed to be separately managed. It's just, so there is no need to incorporate in budget. It's not really our money. We use it to pay the professionals, strictly to pay all the professionals. And now its own tracking is working now. We don't have the issue of shortfall in escrow. And hopefully, my hope is that, and I believe it's going to happen, is the next audit is going to have a clean audit, no comments. It's all, our accounting system is established, properly working. I know Councilwoman Roberts has regularly does the report on the financial information that she has an access to. It's very open system now, and it's well managed now.
With that in mind, I'd like to open it up to the public for any discussion on the 2026 budget. Do we need
One thing, Chairman, I want to add that budget was reviewed by the state and has approved for adoption tonight.
yes.
You need a
Motion.
motion?
Second.
Okay,
Make a
good.
motion to open the public.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And anybody from the public like to speak on the 2026 budget? Anybody from the public? Anybody from the public? Can I get a motion to close the public portion?
Motion to close the public.
Second again?
Second.
Roll call?
All
Or
in
say all in favor?
Go to roll call. I have two just administrative questions on this. I'm so sorry. It says at the beginning that you can have 5 to 7 members, and we have 9, which is what we do have. So just wanted to clarify that. And I get you the page number, but I have to scroll back too far. It's at the very beginning.
Councilwoman, the statute changed in 2007 to provide for 9.
Okay, and I thought that was the case, but the form did not reflect that. And then just an odd thing to me, there's page CB2. It has lines 1, 2, and 3 to answer a question. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 boxes to answer yes and 2. So I just thought that was a little bit, it was just a little odd to answer 5 yeses for 3 questions. And if you want to see that, let me share that with you.
Question 2 has three yeses. That's a strange. That's the DCA provided.
Oh, the
form.
capital, yeah.
That's a DCA form, yeah.
Wonders of how the state operates.
Right, and the beginning of the form had the old statute and this, so I just wanted to.
That's what they,
Fortunately, I think that not necessarily DCA updates their form as the things change and we don't have control over that.
Okay,
And-
I just wanted
and
to
just
bring
so
that
you
up and
know-
make sure we were
Yeah.
clear that,
Right.
that we're still good.
Just so that you
Yeah.
know, these forms are very strict, protected, so we cannot even make changes to that.
yeah, you can't, yeah.
Can I get a motion to approve the 2026 budget? Roll call?
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
DeWise. Fisher. Parikh. Roberts.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
And Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now on to discussion 2026 meeting schedule adoption. Imagine.
I think we had discussed this, it's pretty much this same schedule we adopted this year. It's the second Thursday of every month, right? There's no deviation from that. So we would like you to approve this tonight so we can publish those dates as required.
Yeah, 2 newspapers and until the new law takes
Yeah.
effect. That's right.
We'll do the Asbury Park Press and Home Music. Yeah. We need a motion and a second.
Make a motion to approve the 2026 meeting schedule.
Roll call?
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
DeWise.
Yes.
Fisher. Parikh.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
And Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes.
Thank you.
Going to go over, we're ready to our resolution, so I'm going to move forward to commissioner comments. Any comments from our commissioners before we open to public? No comments. I'm going to move to take a motion to open to the public. Can I get a motion?
Motion to open to the public.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody from the public like to speak? Anybody from the public?
To help keep this meeting as organized as possible, we ask members of the public to approach, state your name, and strive to limit your comments to 5 minutes. All comments this evening should refer to the redevelopment and agenda items per NJSA 10:4-12A and the Sayreville Economic and Redevelopment Agency's rules. In the event a member of the public has questions they seek answers to, an appointment can be made during regular business hours with the agency's office. Thank you.
Jamie. Again, is there anybody else? I see none. Can I get a motion to close the public portion?
Make a motion?
Make a motion.
We have a motion and a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
At this point, I'm going to ask for a motion for executive session for those in the public. We will not be taking any action afterwards other than an adjournment, but can I get a motion for executive session?
Make a motion.
Second?
And
Yep.
can read it.
A resolution of the Saraville Economic and Redevelopment Agency to go into executive closed session. Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act enacted October 21st, 1975 permits a public body to exclude the public from meetings or portions thereof wherein matters to be discussed are exempted from the requirements of the act. And whereas the act requires that prior holding a meeting or portion thereof from which the public is excluded, the public body must adopt a resolution in public that provides for the holding of a private meeting, and whereas the Saraville Economic and Redevelopment Agency has determined that a meeting should be held from which the public is to be excluded to discuss subjects exempted under the act, and now therefore be it resolved by the Saraville Economic and Redevelopment Agency that it meet in the executive closed session under the Open Public Meetings Act on to discuss
Litigation, contract negotiation, personnel.
litigation, contract negotiations, personnel. Be it further resolved that the minutes of the executive closed session shall be available to the public after official action on the subject matter has been taken.
And second.
Commissioner Davis. DeWise.
Yeah.
Fisher. Parikh. Roberts.
Yes.
Scott. Chairman Zabrowski. Thank you.
We could stay here, if everyone has left. Let me just,
to open to public. So then we could, we have to open, we close the exec, now we open the meeting. I make a motion to open the meeting. Aye. I make a motion to close the meeting.
Yeah, very handsome doorman.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Everyone have a good evening.
Happy
Thank you,
Thanksgiving,
everybody.
everyone.
Lady, thank you, and I appreciate it.